As many as 73 million are driving, nearly 90% of all traffic. The next best window to travel, AAA says tomorrow. Yeah, minimal traffic expected. Casey Cronis has more.
It all comes with the territory, brake lights, slowdowns, and packed highways. But on the other side, hopefully, time well spent with loved ones. Experts we spoke with are sharing their top tips on how to ease your trip. Cars, cars, and more cars. It's a sure sign Thanksgiving travel is in full swing.
Every year in the last several, we keep saying we've broken the record.
Molly Hart from AAA says Illinois is yet again on track to break records this holiday, with more than 4 million residents traveling this Turkey Day, 90% of them hitting the road for their holiday helping.
One important thing to have is that emergency kit.
It should have an extra cell phone charger, a blanket, water, snacks, and a flashlight.
Even if you get to your destination and you've got a little bit of downtime, go have your car checked out so you know when you're coming home, you've had your tires looked at, the fluids topped off.
Travelers should be aware of a wind advisory on Thanksgiving Eve, but what might really cause them to hit the brakes is the potential for snow this weekend.
So we'll be out there ahead of time, pre-treating the areas where we can.
Maria Castaneda with the Illinois Department of Transportation says salt trucks and plows are ready to roll.
Now, the one thing to remember, these are big, heavy machinery. They probably weigh like 12 to 13 times what your vehicle does. And also, they have a very limited sight view, which other words means that they don't always see you, even though you see them.
Don't crowd the plow and be mindful of construction. While some barriers have been pulled for the holiday, others won't be.
If you see workers out there dealing with an emergency repair to the road, or even just emergency on the side of the road, move over if you can. Give them room to work. At the end of the day, we all just want to get home.
Statewide, roughly 300 plows and salt trucks will be deployed this weekend if necessary. Also, good news, gas prices are the lowest they've been on Thanksgiving since the pandemic. Reporting in the West Loop, Casey Cronis, Fox 32, Chicago.
2 National Guardsmen shot just a block from the White House are fighting for their lives tonight. The suspect is in custody, also hospitalized, and now President Trump is weighing in. The Guardsmen hail from West Virginia, both in critical condition. Officials say they were shot in an ambush attack that D.C.'s mayor is calling a targeted shooting. The suspect was shot as Guardsmen returned fire. The suspect has been identified as an Afghan national who entered the U.S. in 2021. President Trump speaking about the shooting less than an hour ago.
This heinous assault was an act of evil, an act of hatred, and an act of terror. It was a crime against our entire nation. It was a crime against humanity.
The president also calling for the reinvestigation of all Afghan refugees who entered the country under President Biden's watch. Tonight, members of the basketball community came together to celebrate Armani Floyd. He is the teen killed during the Loop takeover this past Friday. Armani, part of a project, Swish, here in Chicago, a basketball program that keeps kids off the streets. The teens even got a special surprise from Chicago Bulls guard Dalen Terry. Leslie Moreno spoke to him about his message to youth.
Project Swish hosted its annual holiday Thanksgiving dinner. An event built to give neighborhood youth a safe place to play, gather, and connect. McKinley Nelson, the founder, says today was about more than holiday cheer. They also addressed the death of Armani Floyd, the 14-year-old who was killed during a teen takeover on Friday. Armani was a dedicated Swish participant.
A lot of the times, a lot of these guys only saw each other in the gym, and they all had individual relationships with Armani, but now they can come together, share their memories, kind of heal together, bond together, kind of figure out how they can work through it together. And I know what basketball did for myself. I mentioned that I lost some friends growing up as well, and I just wanted to be in the gym, so it was my form of therapy.
Armani's coach says his loss has shaken the entire community.
I've been taking it one day at a time. It's been pretty hard, but you know, I've been connected with all of my players just to make sure that they've been good and reaching out to the family to make sure they've been good.
Chicago Bulls guard Dalen Terry also stopping by with a message.
To chase their dreams. I feel like when I was a kid, some of my peers didn't believe that they could make it, you know, and I always did, and just making sure that I told them, like, no matter what, whoever tells you you can, always chase your dreams, because I was literally the kid sitting in these chairs as well. So.
Staff say moments like this are crucial for young people processing grief and searching for stability.
As of this evening, no arrests have been made. If you recognize the person in that video, you're urged to call police right away. In Chicago's South Side, Leslie Marino, Fox 32 Chicago.
Northwestern may be closer to getting their funding back from the federal government. The Tribune reporting the university is expected to close a deal soon to restore $790 million in research funds. The government froze the money back in April amid several investigations into anti-Semitism. This led to a string of budget cuts at the school. No comment yet from the university. It's been nearly 30 years since a Northwest suburban man disappeared without a trace. Well, in Palatine, detectives never stopped looking for Anthony Tony Klama, and tonight they're asking for the public's help in finding him. In a special report, our Sylvia Perez breaks down the new information in the case.
Splinter's Sports Pub is now closed for business. Its doors were open on November 5th, 1998. That's the night Palatine police detectives say then 36-year-old Tony Klama stopped by to play darts. They also say he disappeared just before midnight, not far from that bar.
Around 11:30 p.m. that night, he was last seen near 1939 North Hicks, which is in the Foxfire apartment complex.
Palatine Police Detective Commander Josh Hester walked us through the case and shared with us some new details on Klama's disappearance.
He was seen exiting a vehicle on the passenger side, actually, with an unknown male. They exited near the 1939 building.
Hester says Klama lived in the 1939 building and worked as a maintenance man in the Firefox condominium complex.
So the vehicle was described as a light-colored vehicle. The male he was with was described as tall with a thin mustache, but further than that, he's never been identified.
Hester says Klama didn't show up for work the next day, which led to his supervisor calling 911 and filing a missing persons report. He also called one of Klama's sisters.
It was unusual about the guy in the car. When we talked to the bartender at the bar, my brother played darts with some guy, but they left separate. So for him to meet up with another guy to get out of his car, I don't know where that guy came from. It was unusual. I mean, that's the big question. Who was that guy? Why hasn't he ever come forward?
Police say a search of Klama's apartment turned up nothing, as did multiple canine and dive team searches in that area.
And we started putting up flyers and walked around talking to people. At one point, we did a grid search of the forest preserve across the street from the apartment complex. We had a lot of volunteers who came out to help.
This case did not have a lot of tips. We did interview a lot of people, both family, friends, coworkers, but tips-wise, we do not have a lot of tips on this case. That's why we're doing this, to hope somebody comes forward with more.
Hester says investigators got one potential break in the case back in 2014 after an anonymous letter was mailed to Crime Stoppers.
It had some references to the area that Tony was last seen in. It also had some reference to some suspicious activity they observed.
Given how much time has passed, Hester is hoping that will help the person who wrote the letter or someone else who knows something to be able to come forward.
We've had no sightings. We've had no financial activity. We've looked at all those records to see, did somebody just want to get away?
Klama's sister agrees her brother isn't the type to just disappear.
Oh, because my brother had a lot of tattoos. He had, a few days before he disappeared, made an appointment to get more tattoo work done. He was out of checks. He had them express sent to his house. So the checks came in after he disappeared. He had made a dentist appointment for like 3 weeks later.
Those tattoos pretty distinct, and police are hoping they might lead them to Tony even today, which is why they like you to take a good look at these photos.
So Tony had some Native American style tattoos. They were on his arms and chest. Definitely very descriptive and wouldn't be identifiable if seen.
We don't think he's alive. You know, we accepted that a number of years ago, maybe 15, 20 years ago. There's no way he would have reached out by now. All we care about is having closure and knowing what happened to him and laying him to rest. Please, please, if you know anything, please come forward.
Anthony Tonaklama is described as 6 feet 1 inch tall, weighing around 160 pounds, with brown hair, green eyes, and a mustache. If you have any information about this case, contact the Palatine Police Department Investigations Bureau at 847-359-9000. Sylvia Perez, Fox 32, Chicago.
On this Thanksgiving Eve, the mayor is helping to serve the community. Plus, Emily's back with a very chilly forecast. Keep it here. Well, food distributions have been taking place across the city all week long, helping families in need ahead of tomorrow's Thanksgiving holiday. Tonight, volunteers with Thanksgiving Light in the Night, serving dinner to families in South Deering. Mayor Johnson joining the distribution, greeting volunteers and community members. He's been visiting local food banks this week, working to combat food insecurity citywide. All right, so we know it's cold out there. We know that the wind is finally dying down a bit. Let's find out what we don't know. How much snow are we going to get this weekend, for example?
That's the big question on everyone's minds, right? So we've been looking toward this upcoming weekend for the last several days, and the forecast has gone a little bit of back and forth between high snow totals and then back to a rain-snow mixture. It's becoming more and more likely that I think we're going to be seeing quite a bit of snow across the area. So let's time things out for you here. I have Futurecast stopped at 9 p.m. on Friday. So Thursday's dry, Friday's dry. Then late Friday night into Saturday, that's when we start to see light snow beginning to spread across the region. And it starts, again, light, but then it's going to ramp up in intensity and in coverage through the day on Saturday. It's going to be snowing all day long on Saturday. And at times, we could potentially have some higher snow rates, too, which is going to allow that snow to pile up. Now, going into Sunday's when we start to see things tapering down a little bit. There's a very small chance that we could see a couple raindrops mixing in at times, but most of us, this is primarily going to be a snow event, which is why the snow totals are trending higher and higher. So this particular model, this is the GFS, the American model, showing 4 to 8 inches, basically area wide, but I'm thinking more so, I feel very confident that we're going to be in that 3 to 7 inch range, but there are still several models that are bringing in 10 to 12 inches of snow. So it's still going to be something to watch. We still have to fine tune this forecast as we get a little bit closer to. We have 2 more days out ahead of this storm system, but again, it's going to be an impactful one. Whether we get 3, 4, 8 inches of snow, the impacts are going to be about the same when it comes to road and air travel. So keep that in mind if you do have some plans or if your family and friends have plans to be traveling this weekend. Your Thanksgiving Day parade forecast for tomorrow looking very cold. We're going to be in the 20s to low 30s, so bundle up. Wind chills are going to be in the teens. 7-day forecast, we're in the low 30s the next couple of days, and then early next week, we're actually dropping down to about 20 degrees for the high on Monday. Yikes. Yes, so let's get a check of your weather pick of the day. This should warm you up at least a little bit. Looking good. This was taken in Lockport by Ken on Saturday. Stunning sunset.
You've had some nice sunsets this week.
Yeah, really pretty ones.
All right, good stuff. Thanks, Emily.
I'm Tina Wynn next in sports. Well, the Bears secondary has been shorthanded all season, but the wait to get them back on the field together could be over soon. Ben Johnson on the potential return of Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon. And did another Bears player drop a hint about that? Find out next in sports.
Parachutes here coming up tonight at 10 on the Chicago Report. An exclusive. A previous victim of loop arson suspect Lawrence Reed speaks out about her harrowing situation and why the case was eventually dropped. Plus the very latest on the shooting of 2 National Guards members in D.C. and the hidden gems along Chicago's coastline from Rogers Park to the Indiana Dunes. Join us at 10 o'clock tonight on the Chicago Report.
It's
Welcome back. Time now for sports. A short week for the first-place Bears preparing for their toughest challenge yet, the 8-3 Eagles. 2 first-place teams on Black Friday, and you can watch that game right here on Fox 32. Chicago Bears held their only practice of the week today. Cassie Carlson with the potential return of 2-star cornerbacks.
With the Bears having one more walkthrough on Thanksgiving, the final roster moves won't be made until Thursday afternoon, leaving the status of both Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon up in the air for the Black Friday game. And when asked if the 2 defensive starters will be elevated off IR, Ben Johnson had a smile on his face when he said, "We'll see."
The moment we started practicing them, it was with the big picture in mind of how do we acclimate them, make sure that we're putting them in a good spot. So throughout the course of the weeks of practice, we've been able to slowly increase the rep count there. And then, we'll be very mindful of that when we do get them up and going in a game. Just we don't want to throw them into the wolves or put them in a bad spot.
Even though Theo Benedict was a full participant at practice all week, Ozzie Trapillo's start at left tackle against the Steelers may have created a new competition at left tackle. When asked if he could possibly start on Black Friday, Ben Johnson also said, "We'll see," adding he was a huge reason as to why the Bears were able to pull off a win against Pittsburgh. At Hallis Hall, Cassie Carlson, Fox 32 Sports.
All right, thanks, Cassie. Meanwhile, are there more hints about when Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon will return? Jaquan Brisker here retweeted a post yesterday about how good the Bears defense is when the 3 of them are all on the field together. And he added, "Sips tea." We'll find out more when the next injury report comes out tomorrow. And plenty more on the latest edition of Bears Blitz. Cassie Carlson, Luke Nellis, and Anthony Herron will discuss how Caleb Williams and the offense can attack a Vic Fangio-led defense and whether the Bears can really stop the team that owns the controversial tush push. Bears Blitz at a special time tomorrow night at 9 p.m. right here on Fox 32 Chicago. And Friday on Fox 32, we're all over the Bears and Eagles. Man, our coverage begins at noon on Bears Game Day Live. Then you'll be able to watch the game right here on Fox 32 at 2 p.m. and stay with us after the game for reaction and analysis. It's all on your home of the Bears right here on Fox 32. In the NHL now, Blackhawks hosting the Wild, second period. Hawks up 1-0 on the rush here, and look at the puck movement. They go tic-tac-toe to who else? Connor Bedard, who taps it in for the goal, his 14th of the season, tied for 3rd in the league. No big deal. Hawks up 2-1 at intermission. Huge baseball free agency news. The Blue Jays are reportedly signing Dylan Cease to a 7-year, $210 million deal. And Rod Strickland will become the 5th player to have his jersey number retired by DePaul. The school will announce the official date at a later time. Back with more after this final break.
Triple Power.
We'll get a final check of your 7-day forecast. It's going to be a cold one, everybody. So for tomorrow on Thanksgiving, we have high temperatures that are going to be right around 32 degrees, but wind chills, teens and low 20s all day long. 32 sunny skies on Friday. Saturday, I'm going with 3 to 7 inches of snow for now, but that number could increase. Many models are higher than that, so it's going to be something to watch. Travel impacts are expected, really no matter any type of way of travel you could be doing on Saturday.
Well, we hope you enjoy your Thanksgiving. We're thankful to have you as our viewers. We're off tomorrow night. Make it a great day. Chicago Sports Tonight is straight ahead.
Good night.
This Wednesday.